Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about my most anticipated fall book releases. So if you don't know here on my channel, I do a lot of these videos. I do one at the very beginning of the year talking about all of the books, and then I do it seasonally because there are some books that you don't figure out are coming out until, maybe the month before or the month of. So I've done one for spring and summer, and here we are at fall. So today I'm talking about books that are going to be released in September, October, and November. And these are books personally that I am most anticipated. They're not every single release because we would be here forever. And of course I will miss some because I usually always do, and I beat myself up for it, but especially I'll miss some because I am pre-filming this pretty early because, again, if you see the notes down below, I am on maternity leave, so I wanted to make sure I got this out for you guys because I'm still anticipating these books, and hopefully by the time this video will go out, I will have read a lot of them because I'm trying to read a lot of them in advance before I go on maternity leave. But you're not here about that. Let's get into all the books that I'm really excited about. Starting in September, we have Portrait of a Scotsman by Evie Dunmore. This is the third book in her, I forgot the series. I want to say it's like the League of Extraordinary Women. It's a historical fiction series that I really enjoy. They're historical romances, I should say. So this one is about Hattie, who finds herself attracted to this finance guy named Lucian, whose murky past and ruthless business practices strike fears in the hearts. And then when the daughter of his business rival all but falls into his lap, he sees opportunity. Basically, that Hattie might be the key to finally settling a Long Harbor political plans in motion. They might have to get married or fake married or get married or something like that. I don't know much about it, but I've enjoyed the past two, and these still remain, I know, to be the only historical romance books I've read, and I really enjoy them, honestly. Next up are The Girls Are Never Gone by Sarah Glenn Marsh, which comes out on September 7th. This is a YA mystery thriller, maybe even horror. The cover looks amazing, and the synopsis sounds even more amazing. So this is The Conjuring meets Sadie. I haven't watched The Conjuring, never will because I'm scared to death of it, but I have read Sadie, so it sounds like an amazing combination. So it basically is a 17-year-old podcast dare takes an internship in a haunted house and finds herself in a life or death struggle against an evil spirit. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it because I feel like that's all we need to know. We just need to know it's The Conjuring meets Sadie with podcast elements. That sounds like amazing. This sounds like it's going to be an amazing fall book to read in when the leaves are crunchy. I'm already dreaming about it for some reason, even though I'm filming this in the dead heat of summer. When it gets a little bit colder in the air and darker. It sounds amazing. Next up is the Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which gets released on September 16th. This is the sequel to the Inheritance games, which I read last year, and I really enjoyed it. It's a YA murder mystery. It's like a YA version of Knives Out, pretty much. That's how I can compare it to you. The girl inherits all this money and this estate, and she has to figure out things. And it's best not to take it too seriously, I'll say that, but it was a fun time. I was pleasantly surprised by how much fun I had reading it. So I am very interested in the second book, and the covers alone are stunning, which is, I'm not gonna lie to you, which is why I bought the first one. I know. Speaking of sequels, we have The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik, which gets released on September 28th. This is the sequel to A Deadly Education, which again, I read last year. It's would I call this YA or an adult? I don't know. I could look on Goodreads, honestly, but it's basically about a magical school that tries to kill you and you have to survive. And it's plot heavy, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very dense, but somehow through a weird turn of events, I really enjoyed it. So I'm definitely planning to read the sequel. I don't know if it's gonna be the last book, if there's gonna be more books in it, but again, the cover is stunning, but it's very just kind of like a dark academia book, if you will. Then we have a new Leanne Moriarty book, Apples Never Fall. This one comes out on September 14th. I've read all of Leanne Moriarty's books, but two. I've done a whole author video on her, so I've read a lot of her books. So this one, it says, if your mother was missing, would you tell the police? I would hope so, even if the most obvious suspect was your father. Ooh, that's a very intriguing question. I guess it all depends on your family. So basically, It's about the Delaney siblings, and I guess their mom goes missing, and the suspect's the father, so they're like, should we tell the police? I don't know. I think the ultimate right answer would probably be yes, but I guess we're going to figure out a dissection and go into this family even more so. Also on September 14th, we have The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This is when a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. So this is all about a woman scientist and fake dating, and I've heard amazing things about this. Like, it's already getting rave reviews here in summer, so I am so excited to read this, and hopefully I'll read it very, very soon. Fingers crossed. Also, a new Kendar Blake book coming out on September 21st, All of These Bodies. I believe this is a YA mystery one. She first started out in the game with YA mystery, I think, with Anna Dressed in Blood, which I haven't read, but this one takes place in summer 1958, and a string of murders placed in the Midwest. Victims are found in their cars and their homes, even in their beds. Their bodies drained, but with no blood anywhere. Could this be vampires? I hope so. And then September 19th, I don't know what year, I forgot to write that down. The Carson family slaughtered in their Minnesota farmhouse, and the case gets its first lead. 15-year-old Marie is found at the scene. She is covered from blood head to toe, but she's mistaken for a survivor, but none of the blood is hers. And then we have the son of a local sheriff who becomes a journalist. He wants to become a journalist, and then like the biggest case falls into his lead because Marie like talks to him, and I think we unravel this mystery. It sounds pretty intense for a YA mystery thriller, but I like Kendar Blake's writing, so I'm here for it. Then we have the Shoddy Set Up by Lily Vale, which comes out September 7th. These are all out of whack. I apologize, the dates. This is high school sweethearts Rita and Milan were the golden couple until the day he broke her heart. Now, 6 years later, she's all good, and then Milan enters her life, and he actually needs her business help, and she decides to help him. And basically, she helps him renovate his beach house of her dreams, and the two begin to dive deeper into work and their past. So I think this is a second chance romance. The cover really intrigued me, as well as the plot. We all know I love a good romance any day of the week that ends in Y. And the last book I have in September is A Lot Like Adios by Alexis Dario. I read one of her books last year, You Had Me at Ola, and loved it, so I'm super excited for this one. This is about Michelle, who has built a thriving business as a graphic designer, and her love life's non-existent, and the only guy who's ever made her heart happily ever after disappeared 13 years ago, who is Gabriel. So he escaped the Bronx at 18, his parents, and now he's back, apparently. And he's the co-owner of Celebrity Gym with an investor. Basically, him and Michelle meet up again, and Michelle is torn between holding Gabe at arm's length or picking up right where they left off in her bed. So another second chance romance. Yes, I feel like I haven't read a lot of those recently, so I'm very excited for this one, and I love her books. Moving into October, first up we have The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling, which comes out on October 5th. Sorry if I'm not doing over this. I have all the synopsis on my phone, so I'm trying to make it as brief as possible. So this one is like an adult romance, but also kind of magical, if you will. It sounds like a perfect book to read near Halloween, like practical magic vibes, honestly. So it says, 9 years ago, Vivian nursed her broken heart like a young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on her horrible boyfriend. You go, girl. So she's not worried. You know, you're not supposed to do that type of magic, but she's like, I'm not worried. And then Reese, the descendant of the town's ancestor, returns to this place in Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance turns disastrally wrong. With one calamity after another striking Reese, Vivi realized her silly ex-hex may not have been so harmless after all. This town is under attack by murderous wind-up toys, a pissed-off ghost, and a talking cat with some interesting things to say. I mean, it just sounds like such a fun read. How could I not want to read this? Then on October 12th, we have Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab. This is Villains 1.5. So it's a novella, and I believe it's a graphic novel as well. It just says that we follow 3 new EOs, extraordinaries, hence why the title is called that, must grapple with their new abilities and those who would hunt them down. This is featuring unseen character design, galleries, and story commentary from V.E. Schwab. I love V.E. Schwab, so it's no secret why this is on here. On October 19th, we have the final book in the Well-Met series, I guess you could say, called Well-Matched by Jen DeLuca. So finally, our favorite sister, April, is getting love after all. She was introduced in the very first book as the main character's older sister, and here she is getting her own book. So of course, this is all about Renaissance fairs. If you don't know the series, it's takes place in a small town in London. There's a Renaissance fair every year that's just amazing and people love it, and that's where usually the romance happens. So this one is about single mother April, who has been living at this small town for forever, and she asked her friend Mitch, who's most likely, he's also been in the past books, he's a playboy, to help with home improvements around her house to sell because she's ready to get out of the small town. But of course, things happen, so I'm pretty excited for this one. I did not like the last book. I think it was well played, really at all. So I'm apprehensive, but I'm also very excited for this one. And the last one in October is All of the Feels by Olivia Dade. This one follows Alexander, who I believe was in the first book. Spoiler alert, so this is like a sequel. Cupid on the TV's Biggest Show, God of the Gates, kind of think of like Game of Thrones. And basically is when all that reckless emotion explodes into a bar fight, the tabloids and the public agree his star is falling. Enter Lauren, the former ER therapist hired to keep him in line. And so basically, the more time they spend together, the harder it gets to keep their professional and remove with their heart intact. So it's an amazing romance series that I can't wait to read more of. Moving into November, we have Haven't Met You Yet by Sophie Cousins. This one releases on November 11th. It says, tell me the story of how you two met. We have Laura, who has built a career of finding epic true life stories for her column. And she picks up the wrong suitcase at the airport. She wonders if this could be her very own meet cute moment. We all hope for that stuff, right? If Laura's job has taught her anything, that's when it comes to love, you can't let opportunity pass you by. Now, Lauren is determined to track down the owner of the suitcase that she picked up and her own happy ending. But what if fate have other ideas? It sounds like it's going to be a cute romance book, maybe close to read near Christmas. We'll have to see. And we have The Donut Trap, which is like the best title and cover ever, by Julia Teal, which comes out November 2nd. This is with no job or boyfriend prospect. Jasmine returns home to work for her parents' donut shop. There could be worse things. I'm just kidding, I don't know. And she just basically gets in the cycle of like, you know, working at the donut shop, watching Netflix, running errands, and that's about it. To get her out of her cycle, help comes in forms of her old college crush, Alex. Is everything she should wish for until a disastrous dinner reveals Alex isn't perfect as she thinks. That's a bummer. Worse, he didn't think that she's perfect either. So basically, Jasmine must scheme to find a solution that satisfies her family expectations and can get her out of the donut trap once and for all. Sounds really cute. Then we have Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams, which comes out November 2nd. This is about Britta, who works for a lifestyle website, and then she has to write her experience with a hot new body positive fitness app. And then basically we also follow the CEO of said fitness app. Wes has finally, I think he starts to get to coaching again, and so they start coaching together, and they both say that their attraction is harmless, but when they start working out in person, Wes and Britta find it increasingly challenged to deny their feelings of chemistry and maintain a personal distance. I read her previous book last year, How to Fail at Flirting, and really loved it, so I think anything she writes I'll read. So this sounds like just a really cute romance book that I don't really need to know too much about. I'm sorry. Then we have also November 2nd, A Certain Appeal by Vanessa King. All I know about this one, it says it's sparkling contemporary retelling of Pride and Prejudice set in the tantalizing world of New York City burlesque, and that's all I want to know. The cover sounds amazing. That little synopsis sounds amazing. I went in. The Singles Table by Sarah Desai comes out November 17th. I've read her 2 previous books and really enjoyed them. So this one is after a devastating breakup, celebrity-obsessed Zara is determined to never open her heart again. And so she loves finding her friends happily ever after until she's faced a guest at the singles table she couldn't match until she crosses paths. Oh, she's never faced a guest at the singles table she couldn't match until she crosses paths with a sinfully sexy Jay. And so basically they make a deal. She'll find him special someone if he introduces her to his celebrity clients. But when their arrangement brings them together in ways they never expected, they realize that the perfect match might just be their own. It's gonna be cheesy, romantic, cute. I'm here for it. Yeah, that's all the books that I have for my fall anticipated releases. There's a lot of them. I really hope to read all of them in the summertime, but I don't know. I'll have to see how I've done when this video goes live. We'll have to see. But I would love to know what books you're looking forward to this fall. Which ones are you getting really, really excited for? Are you getting excited for the fall releases and things like that? I would love to know. Please leave me comments of what books you're really excited about down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.